Hello everyone. So previously we studied what pronouns are, what cases of pronouns are there. We studied about subjective pronouns, objective pronouns and possessive pronouns. Now here in this video or in this session, we'll be learning about the challenges that we face when we use the above three cases. Now when there are several types of sentences, it's normal to have confusion as to what to use, what pronoun to use, whether subjective or whether objective or whether possessive. We really don't understand when sentences with a compound subject comes up, or if it's followed by a pronoun directly followed by a noun. Like when sentences are there, there is a confusion as to which pronoun to use. So here in this module, we'll be looking into the common errors that can come up and how we can uh, try to reduce our confusions and use the correct pronoun. Now, pronouns and compounds. Now, in sentences that use two pronouns, or when a noun and a pronoun together, it's easy to become confused as to which pronoun to use. So, in that case, when one is not sure as to what pronoun to use, what you have to do is you have to consider in that particular sentence that whether it's part of the subject, which means is it doing the action, or to consider whether it's part of the object. That would be either receiving the action or is after a preposition. Because sometimes a pronoun may sound right to us, but you can't really trust your ears. It might sound right, but it may not be grammatically or technically correct. So we have to be careful, especially careful. We have to be especially careful with the words I and me, because it's it's these words that we make the most errors. So one easy tip is that we have to consider whether it's part of the subject, which means if it's doing the action, or whether it's part of the object, whether it's either receiving the action or is after a preposition. So this is one thing that you have to keep in mind. Now, if you see here, it's a common error using object pronouns in place of subject pronouns. So here we have to be careful. Now, here Jess and me went to school might sound correct, but it is not. So here it is, Jess and I went to school. So we should be careful when we are using object pronouns and subject pronouns, because here a subject pronoun is needed, I, not me. So this is one example. Jess and I went to school. It's a subject pronoun. This sounds correct. If you use me, it will be object pronoun and it will be wrong. So Jess and I went to school, not Jess and me went to school. Although it might sound right, but it is not right. Now, in the last example, you can see that if we use they and I took the bus, it doesn't sound right. So in that case, you can combine the two pronouns into one single pronoun and say we took the bus. Now, another is the vice versa. That is using subject pronouns in place of object pronouns. He met Jeremy and I. So using a subject pronoun here would make it really wrong. It sounds wrong. It is wrong. So it will be object pronoun would come here. He met Jeremy and me. Now here I won't work. So there are further examples over here which you can see and understand this. Now if you look at the last two examples, they use object pronouns because they came after prepositions. Okay, now is that hot fudge sundae for Carlos and me? My brother sat right between you and me. So it is coming after a preposition. Now here it's an object pronoun. We can't use subject pronoun here. Is that hot fudge sundae for Carlos and I? It sounds wrong. So an object pronoun should be used. Instead of I, it would be me. So these were the common errors that people make. Go through the previous slide and this slide, go through the examples, you will get a much better understanding. Now, to decide what to use, whether to use a subject pronoun or an object pronoun, what you have to do is you have to cross out the other pronoun that is there or noun that is there and use the pronoun that sounds correct when it stands alone. So here in the sentence, Dash went to school. Now here it could be either I or it could be me. It could be a subject pronoun or an object pronoun, right? So it could be either I or it could be me. So what you do here is you would try to read it. You would try to read it when it stands alone. Okay, so you will remove the other noun or pronoun and see what sounds more correct. So I went to school sounds more correct. So I will be the correct answer. Now here, Nancy hit me. So Nancy hit me would sounds more correct, right? Nancy hit I. It doesn't sound right. Is that hot fudge sundae for I? It doesn't sound right. So it will be, is that hot fudge sundae for me? Sounds more correct. So you have to be careful when you use the subject and object pronoun. You need to really see which fits in the particular sentence. Now here there are other two examples. Sam. Now see, this is what I was talking about in the above sentence. When you say to decide whether you need to use a subject pronoun or an object pronoun, cross out the other pronoun. Now in this sentence, cross out the word Sam and. Okay. And just focus on Dash saw a movie on Saturday. So here, I saw a movie on Saturday sounds much better than me saw a movie on Saturday. So it will be Sam and I saw a movie on Saturday. Similarly, I wrote a story about my cat and me. It won't be me and my cat. Now just try replacing it. I wrote a story about my cat and me. It won't be my cat and I. No, right? It will be my cat and me. So these are certain pointers that you need to remember while choosing which pronoun to use.